But look, all right, man. Welcome to the Hear Me Out podcast. I'm coming to you as your host, Shaun. I got my boy JJ, my boy Manny, my boy Vernon, my boy Brandon. Let's go ahead and get into this podcast. So,
everyone. So I'm introducing our first guest. His name is Vernon. Me and Vern met through he was doing security detail at my apartment, and I just, we just started chatting it up every time I'd see him in the hallway, and he was just always a genuine dude. And we just made that connection, that friendship. So he's more than just a friend to me; he's a brother to me, and he's got a lot of grateful insight that we could really learn from, and that we can all learn from each other. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself about what he's been through and what he's going to be, essentially we can kind of get a baseline off of what's going to be going on. So.
All right. What's up, people? Got to come up with my own signature. My own language. Look, I don't even know what I said to y'all. I could have been doing anything. Hey, but it's a pleasure, man, to hang out with you guys, man. This is the future right here, though. Yo, it's dope. I like to talk about myself, but I will. But in less than 10 years, y'all will be making all the decisions. Government, whatever, government, peppermint, whatever mint it is, money mint. If you got it, you got it. So it's a pleasure. I thank God for being able to just, share some knowledge and bounce it off. But, oh, wow, through my 54 years and on this earth, I've had a lot of experiences and I'm willing to share. But in my professional life, it's mostly been about crisis. Worked with the sheriff's office, criminal justice major, was in a homeless shelter for 3 years, volunteered there before, a couple of years before I even started working there, Boys and Girls Club. So it's mostly been about crisis and some hugely traumatic influences in my life as a child that helped shape my life. So I use those to help others. So, hey, I'm all ears, and whatever you guys ask of me, I'll try my best to share from my purview.
Appreciate that intro, Vern. We look forward to hearing from you more on this pod. And Ron, do you want to introduce yourself, man?
No doubt, man. Name Ron, you know what I'm saying? I met y'all at the boundary on 10th, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
From Burt the Burt area, from the country, you feel me? So just growing up, used to play basketball, venture nature, the average little, country life. So over time, I graduated, started, doing the music, went to Full Sail University temporarily, like on learning like the bachelor degree of science. So I kind of like dropped out and kept all the equipment, you feel me? Like that. So you feel me? So like over time, that's when I first got into Apple Blase, like Logic Pro. So I ain't no perfect mixer, but I can, record you a song from the ground up. So over time, I just bought the drones, learned the Photoshop, and then started playing with the little cameras, man. So, I'm still learning a lot right now. So I just want to see what the future holds. So stayed out of trouble and, the average life, man. So I'm like, my life hooked around like technology, man. I love the gadgets, you feel me? Like that. So I ain't really too much, man, like that. So.
Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you for having us. Having you on here, man. And, we look forward to hearing from you about technology and what you're interested in and how you can teach us some things. Because our audience, as you know, like a lot of the time, we're young kids and we love our gadgets, our phones, our laptops, our video games, and we really do appreciate that. So there's a lot we can learn from you, and we're excited to.
So, yeah, no doubt, man. Ready to work, man. Network, man, for real.
Oh yeah, we just appreciate that. So for the first one, I wanted to get into the importance of God in all of our lives. I think that spirituality, whatever you believe in, doesn't have to be Christianity. Just the importance of something spiritual in your life, and I really thought that I'd ask this question to Vern, especially because whenever we're always interacting with each other, we always tend to add God in everything, nearly almost what we say, and that's always that comes up in conversation. So I'm gonna ask Vern here real quick, like, what is the importance and what is the meaning of God in your life and what He's done for you, and every day you experience, how does that shape your life?
I think that it's just having a spiritual aptitude, just having a conscience,
right,
is just an indication that you do have the faculties to acknowledge God, a God, the God. That's baseline for a lot of us, and then obviously after that, people get into different theologies and humanities versus that. But when you got a conscience and there's an inner voice, you know, and you know this supreme being, you know that you were created in some way. That, man, I can't go to sleep without something going on in my head that Vernon is saying, or I feel like there's a God conscience, a guidance.
Right.
So when you have that, like we have, even if whatever we're talking about, from basketball to, you know, whatever we're talking, fine dining,
right,
or American social issues, we apply God conscience to it.
We do.
And so that's reverence. When you're like that, you're built like that. It's beautiful. And that's how God have directed my life when I was getting beat up by a bully. And I was like led to go and play by myself to explore nature. And that was like a salvation because he was saving me. Wow. Every time we played kill the man in football, it wasn't like they just tackled me. This one particular guy, he was literally like, kill the man. Wow. And so I got killed. So I'm like, you know, why every time I'm the one that's getting beat and kicked and by this one guy? So then I would be led to enjoy, just go sitting by the river, fishing, the true things where I guess God was putting me to the side to like, look, let me speak to you about you just getting your hind part whooped. Right. You're about to be, you're short and fat right now, right? Right. But you're about to be 6'3". You're about to be a man's man. And holy, I'm just dragging this out. But lo and behold, at 15 and a half, I got up and I couldn't wear none of my clothes. And and a long story short about what happened spiritually, it was some bad stuff. But I didn't attack my bully. We were playing, we were running around with sticks and pipes. I jumped down in the ditch and a hacksaw blade handle that I had cut his head by 8 inches and his meat peeled over his ear. Wow. And there was blood everywhere, right? Wow. That's how God got this bully out of my life. So that was totally spiritual. I'm just running around. Everybody, war. But God led that and he stopped that bully. Because that dude thought I meant to do that. But I never faced him. God has empowered me to do something careless. Like he jumped in the ditch. I jumped in the ditch behind him and split his head. Wow. And he never touched me thereafter.
So you saying God, or like, I don't know, God made you stab him or something like that?
Well, I think it was definitely an accident. It was definitely an occasion. It was something that happened. We were playing, but because he had been beating me up most of my life, I was 5'1", 5'2", and fat. You know, how would I ever gonna beat up a 16, 17-year-old that was already 6'2"? Right. God was the equalizer, I think. And that accident, so let's take the equation of God out of it.
Yeah.
Yo, that accident stopped him.
Oh, it definitely did, for sure.
Okay. So by then I was already traumatized, though, from somebody controlling my behavior. Whether I went out of the yard, I always got to look for this guy. Whether we playing football or we playing where he gonna show up and want to be on the opposite team, and I never did anything to him. So those shadows still remain in my life, and I'm gonna stop talking. But he tried to Facebook friend me about a year ago, and
no, please continue talking more.
And I felt like I had to let that go. I think if you put me and that guy in the same room right now, y'all will be watching this in this tear this apartment up.
You gotta get that
We would literally, he'd have been to prison, but y'all would get a show tonight on y'all first. Because if he walked in behind me right now, I don't know how God would intervene. I could start crying. I could be like, yo, what's up, man? I forgive you. I could do a lot of things, but at that point, I don't know. I would be waiting on God to usher me to the next move, because So I've been an advocate for people being bullied all of my life.
Do you still feel like some type of anger towards him from that situation?
That was painful, man. Getting embarrassed and beat up in front of everybody and being scared. Some days I couldn't even. We had a railroad track in front of my home, and he wouldn't even let me go across the railroad track. He wouldn't even let me go home.
So since you say that, like, I know there's plenty of other people that go through the same stuff. So like, what would you say to people that be like, God ain't real because he put me in this such and such predicament situation? If he was real, how come I'm going through this and that? Like, what is your outlook on that?
I got the message real quick that there was some intervention that stopped him from messing with me, and it was truly a mistake that I came down on his head like that. I'm trying not to, feel celebratory right now, but I really got tired of that abusive behavior from him. But for somebody that doesn't see how their experience is, their journey is teaching them, or even making them stronger for the next situation. For somebody who don't see that right now, I just want to share some hope with you. If you take a position that there's some education that you can get from this, there's some information that you can learn more about. You can listen to this podcast and know that there is hope. There's somebody in your life that you're so emotional right now because somebody's sexually abusing you, or somebody you're traumatizing you. I mean, you shut down, but you're so emotional right now, you can't see who's trying to help you, or you may not even be reaching out. But that does not mean that there is not somebody close by. So please, you don't trust very many people, either guys or gender or race, if you will. But I guarantee you, it might not be as hard. It might not be as hidden as you think it is. Somebody to support you, even if they don't have the total answer to get out of your situation.
And I'd just like to ask you also and intervene. So I, along with you, believe that was the Holy Spirit. I believe that was the Holy Spirit in the making about the situation, about teaching you not to get vengeance back at someone. Because, in the Bible, it says vengeance is mine. And I can agree with that with a lot of situations when you do want to, get revenge at someone when they've done you wrong. And it's so hard to turn your cheek sometimes. But then you realize it was better that you turned your cheek in the moment, because you learned so much from turning that cheek and also feeling that, so you can not let other people feel that same way you were feeling. So like what you were saying, I think it's good character development, about going through those tough situations. And especially, do you think that your life would have turned out different if you didn't have that bully, right? And how do you think your life would have shaped, right? Even though it's a painful experience, right? And I can relate to, and a lot of other. Now, I didn't go through that experience. I imagine it's painful, but do you think that those painful experiences are needed, right? Those times when you kind of feel helpless and there's not really much you can do or that you should do, and that will make you who you are.
It does, all of it, and I can just agree with you on the overall. All of it makes us who we are.
Right.
Our story, even our indoctrination, even our guilt, our celebration, our smiles and our cries, that make us who us are. Now, the thing about humanity that I have validated a lot of my perceptions about how to treat people is I've seen people at their worst, maximum security, murder one, federal inmates, women, people who are psychotic, on drugs, suicide. I've seen people at their worst times, and they tell me the story of how they responded. They killed a person. I've talked to men. Hey, I kill people for Satan.
Wow.
And so he rationalized, but Jesus, if you worship Jesus, because he asked me, was I Crispin? Hey, I'm Crispin. But he's like, are you a Christian? I said, yeah, I think I am. I'm more spiritual than religious. He's like, yeah, well, I worship Satan, and he blessed me like your God blessed you. So when I got caught, I knew my run was over, but I had a great run, and I know I'm not to expect to enjoy the rest of my life because I'm gone from society forever.
Right.
You know, because I killed quite a few people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm done. So he was content in the place he was, looking at all the social cues that he had and the lives that he was taking from other people. He didn't seem to be that remorseful. It was more self-centered. So there you go with psychologists watching this. Hey, that was a demon in itself. You know?
Demon time.
Yeah, I met some demons. I met some. Okay? Don't get me telling you spooky stories. I might be scared to leave up in there. But yeah. So the rationale about God being in your life can help solidify wherever you are right now in your conscience. So even the worst people that I've met in their lives still acknowledge God. The very worst.
That's interesting.
People.
Some of the worst people, you said.
And some of the most intelligent, some of the white collar crime guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This guy, his forte was counterfeiting money. He was printing $100 bills and flying all over the world. Next thing you know, this is a short story. I come in the dorm. He got the trustees taking trays to his room on Chicken Day. He become the minister of the cell block. He got everybody fasting on Chicken Day. Chicken Day, 1 day a week. He got everybody fasting on Chicken Day, giving him the plate. Giving him the plates. And everybody else fasting. What persuasion do you have over human beings that in a jail where you don't get KFC, you don't really get fried food in the institution all the time, especially on lower levels? Yeah, but I got on him. I had to embarrass him in front of everybody. I was like, dude, you out there in the street, you was all dollars and no cents. You should have that money and got out of the game, and you had no common sense. So I embarrassed him. He caught it when I said you were all dollars, and he bragged all the time. Man, I used to caviar, and then he became the cell block preacher and had everybody fasting on Chicken Day.
But that's so interesting. The fact that shows you how powerful God is, right? In the presence of Jesus and just how much he can really change a man or woman's life or a child's life just simply by a situation that you felt that was for the worst, right? And I believe, everything that you said was meant to be for a reason, and it was shaping you to who you are now. And
yes, I locked him up on discipline, and everybody could eat. So I canceled the fast. Everybody got their chicken, and he went on lockdown. So answer your question about people getting vengeance. People getting vengeance no, God can do it for you.
Yes.
If it's a grown man messing with a child or whatever, God can take care of this situation. You just don't know how it's gonna happen.
Right. And that's just how, and everything is right on God's timing for a reason. Because if it was on our timing, I think we all know that, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Like, if we got something so fast, we wouldn't know how to handle it, right? And God gives it to us when we actually need it or actually know how to control it and maintain it and help other people, right? And I'm big on that. Well, how do you feel about that, Ron, also about your spiritual life and the importance of God in your life?
Man, like without like a higher power or thinking positive, man, like I done seen it, man, like basically, okay, to make a long story short, like I was, every once in a while, you might listen to a little trap music or, you know what I'm saying, some Chicago artists, you see what I'm saying? So I know y'all familiar with that.
It's to a little Burke or something.
I get what you're saying.
To show you how, like, spiritualism can affect your everyday life, bro, like how the law of attraction really real, man, and people think it's a game, like the thoughts you give out like a madman, you know what I'm saying? So I'm listening, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to labor finals, you know, I'm going like 2 towns over past Kinston, man. It was a small town. I forgot the town. So, you know, I just jam my little music to get me going in the morning, you feel me? So I was listening to, you know, LBG Cash. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I was listening to him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't finna do what I'm listening to in the song. You know what I'm saying? I like the beat. I'm a beat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to the same song over and over, man. You know, sometimes music can put against you. So it's like, I kept listening to the same song. So, okay. Next thing you know, I come home that Friday night. My mom's called me. It's like 11 at night. I'm talking to my people on three-way, kind of same vibes like we got now, you know what I'm saying? It's like my homegirl and my homeboy, it's like childhood. So we talking. She talking about throwing a party in Greenville. And I'm like, no, you don't want to do that at a hotel in Greenville. Be a lot of shootings around here. So next thing you know, my mom's called me. I'm like, hold on. I said, my mom's called me. I picked up the phone. And she was like, Ron. She said, where you at? She said, you home? She said, cause me and this lady she talked to, you know what I'm saying? Me and my friend keep having this bad feeling about something. We just can't put our hand on it. They kind of religious. So she was like, we just prayed for y'all and everybody. She prayed for her kids. She prayed for y'all and razzle dazzle. So I'm like, well, I'm in the house. Ain't nothing that can happen while I'm in the house. Right out here in Carolina Creek where I'm at now. So next thing you know, about 10 minutes later, they was throwing a kit back across the street, you know, these 3 girls, or whatever, roommates, you know what I'm saying? You know how they be out here. So they was throwing a kit back, bunch of dudes out in the parking lot, like, you know, gang members, all that, bloods, blase, 19-year-old, 20-year-old. And I look out my window, I see like 10 people beating on one dude, like riding, you know what I'm saying? I look out the window, and they just swinging, so they end up from the other side to my side. So I go out on the porch, you know, like the school days to be nosy. Oh, we about to see a fight, which I shouldn't have did. So when I went on the porch, freaking dude came from like, you know what I'm saying? He was across from me still on that side, but they on my side fighting. So, you know what I'm saying? He turned in our direction. He just pulled out a gun out his dang on hoodie and just started firing wild. And I'm standing on the porch. And he pop. Next thing you know, 2 more people start shooting pistols, you know what I'm saying? So, and look, 5 of our cars got hit. That's why I go back to the song I was listening to, I'm saying. And then, you know, I ended up with 3 bullet holes in my car. Like, they still there now. You know, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. You can be home in the safest place you can be. And if the devil wants something to try to, you feel what I'm saying? Right. It don't matter where you at. If you ain't spiritually protected, man, like, that's what I was saying. Like, you said God in your life. Like, my mom and them prayed for us, what I'm saying. So it was like she said, who knows? If that want to happen, we want to pray. Anything could have happened because the bullet went right beside my window and went through the white girl window beside me, my room window, the way it's set up. You feel me? Through a house.
What color was she?
Hey, let me tell you, man. I think you're completely 100% right. I think every day, and me and Vern were talking about this the other day. You know, I was telling him it's like when you're doing good, the devil tries so harder, and
facts.
Like whenever something's going good in your life, it's like you guys always get that feeling like something's gonna go wrong.
Some is always something, ain't it? I'm telling you.
You know, or someone's gonna try and someone's just gonna try and ruin my day, or just something's gonna happen, right? But like what you said, I think that your mother and her friend, that spiritual presence, really did protect you. You know, because it's like you're just kind of putting that armor of God to protect you from the devil. And
for real, bro.
And I think the importance of prayer in my life, it has helped me significantly, you know? And what I realized was this, like what you said, my spiritual life, it reflected on my personal life and everything that I was doing and all my endeavors. And I realized once I was protected by God and I was faithful to him and I gave 100% like I gave everything else, then everything was going to be all right. The worries went away, then everything was just going to go away. But you got to trust that from God and trust those signs. Like whenever it's time to go, you got to go. Whenever you get that feeling,
feeling like,
you know what I'm saying?
I gotta get out of here.
First instinct, like you said, and not to mention, this artist got killed 3 days later that I was listening to, you know, LPG Cat. He got killed.
Wow.
In Chicago, you feel me? That's why I'm like, it was like a cycle. I can't, it was crazy, bro. Like, seriously, bro. It was like, I was like, yo, that's crazy right there. Like, so the violence that around that music, what I'm saying, that trap music, it really affect the spiritual realm. Like,
Yeah, that's a great point, man. And, me and my boy Garion were just talking about that actually today, about the music industry and how demonic it actually has gotten. For real, have y'all noticed, like, even with artists like Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi, they're disrespecting Christianity.
Yeah. No, they're doing all definitely wild.
Playboy, he would be wilding for real.
Wearing upside down crosses, trying to disrespect God, and dropping it on Christmas Day, even more disrespectful.
Right.
But I think, the crazy thing, we can talk about Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke. I believe in this so much. And even when I'm singing stuff, there's so much, like, the power of the tongue has the power of life or death. I agree.
Everything they spoke on in their songs.
And you speak that, and it's just like with Pop Smoke. Juice WRLD said he was going to go out like he did, overdosing, and he did. Right. Pop Smoke said he was going to go out armed and dangerous, and he did. Right? And all these, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's why I'm very weary of what I say now even more. Man, how do y'all feel about that too?
Facts. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you be saying some shit and then it be like, it really be happening. It ain't gotta be like no serious shit. It be like, right. But like what? The other day I was like, damn, cause like I had to get some gas, but I had to go to work. I'm like, man, I'm gonna fuck around. By the time I get the gas, by the time I get to work, my shit gonna cut off on me. Got there right at work.
Mm-hmm.
Cut off. Cut off, JJ.
For real. In your life.
Wow.
I'm like, man, I'm talking about right there at work. Cut off on me. I'm like, bro. So low key, some of the shit you do be speaking and saying though, bro, that shit do be coming.
No, that's a fact though. Even like when you listen to like sad song, like say you listen to some Drake, where you could be in a happy mood, but you got some Drake song playing. It can change the whole mood, make you feel sad. You not supposed to be feeling sad.
Oh god.
Yeah. All right, like turn that sad shit off.
Yeah. Or that ride wave and stuff like that. That puts in the mood. Like, bro, I'm not even feeling how he feeling in this song.
How you feeling like that for real though?
It feels like your vibration is going down.
Yeah.
For real, bro. Anything that can alter your mood can alter your life. You know what I'm saying? Anything that can alter your mood can really alter your life in the long run of how you view things, bro. Because I studied, man, like the shadow music industry for years. Cause I used to make music, so I was just studying like, is all this stuff real? Blase. So I was looking at one interview, man. It was a guy named John Todd. No lie, in your free time, look him up, man. John Todd, JOHNTODD. He was born into like an Illuminati family bloodline. Like he was white, you know what I'm saying? So he got out and then got into Christianity. And when he did, they locked him up in jail. So when he was in jail, he had these tape recorders in the cell recording all of these recorders, man, telling the secrets of the cup and the elites. And they still can be found this day. But the weird part is he used to have like 5, 6, and some more. But now I only see one when I go to YouTube. So these are cup people run everything. They be deleting stuff over time. So he said that when the music industry, you go to these labels, he said everything looks sweet on the outside, good. But he said, you go down in these like down stairways in these back rooms, he said it's empty rooms. So he said when these album drops, he said they get 13 witches. He said 13 witches, 13 covers to pray over these albums and jump like that to get sales and do spells and cast spells. So he was like, the old vinyl records that people used to play Vernon, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people used to be big on them. He was like, every is a spirit, man. They follow that music, what I'm saying. He said the spirits and the curses follow them songs, yo. Like that. So he put all this out, yo. And he was never heard from again. They don't know what happened to him. Like, no lie. Like, it's a true story. John Todd. Like, his audio is still on YouTube. So
John Todd?
Yeah, John Todd, bro. Like, his tape recorders up there. He did it right in his cell, bro. And nobody know what happened to him from after that point on, yo. And like, they deleted most of his audio. So I was listening to these when I was probably in like 9th or 10th grade. I'm talking about years ago, man. So the music industry, he said some of these songs is written in which language? And he mentioned one artist group. He was like, it wasn't the Beatles. It was somebody, man. It could have been the Beatles, like a famous group. And it was talking about the song was Hotel something, and it was talking about how
you're talking about Hotel California. Hotel California.
Yeah, Hotel California. Bro.
That was I saw. Yeah, they made the vibration on the song demonic.
Brent, see what I'm saying?
They made the numbers demonic. Yeah, I remember seeing that, how it's made and like the deep insights in it, and they do it for some songs even now. Like they change that. That's what gets your mood to act aggressive, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I definitely believe like what you're saying. My bad for interrupting you. Go ahead.
No, you good. Okay, he was just like, he just said that song meant that once you go to this hotel, you can never leave this hotel. He said that was the subliminal behind the song. Like, that's all, you know what I'm saying? So that song was written in which language? Some of these songs is written in things called which language to put the listeners in a trance. So the more people listening to it, the more they downloading, the more money you getting. So the artists getting the money, and the devil's getting their mind. So it's like, it's a trade. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna spit in this conversation like this. For my intellectuals out there that are watching, you know, everything in life or everything that we can see, touch, and feel is a molecular structure. And it's not really, if you're looking at a rock, that rock is not solid. It's just the molecules in that rock are so close together, you can't pass your hand through it. Because if it was water that's so far apart, then you can pass your hand through. There's vibrations that's transferred through the air. That's the only way we can hear.
So, Vern, would you like to continue on?
Well, he was at a good spot right there.
What ambition?
Right.
How everyone can understand it. Can you put it in, like in the terms that you were?
Yeah. So I was doing science for a moment, for as much as I can with all the scientists out there. Give me permission to, feel a little bit if I can, just to make my point. But yeah, we're surrounded by inanimate objects, and we have a relationship with the universe. Biblical, everything about us is celestial relationship to the sky, the universe. Right down to our vocals, our voice, how we live, how close we sit next to each other, the amount of electricity our body gives off. What I'm saying is there's a huge ball of energy here that we have a lot to do with. And God, Big G, already proclaimed that there's several other gods, but then the human being is like God, and in his image, if you subscribe to that God, Jehovah, other names you might, then we are little gods, thus we cast spells, or we make proclamations, or we ask for certain things, or we declare, or we move things with our hands, and our minds think thoughts that manifest. So it doesn't surprise me if I can be staring at something and it might seem to move. Or I might see, I've seen two unexplained, what you call them, UFOs, unidentified objects in my life. I still see them in my head right now. I've met a few people who I feel like were truly angelical beings or were great in a positive way that baffled me. And I've also met what I believe was a couple of people possessed by demons. And then I feel like I met a demon itself. Okay? And so I think
how you feel you met a demon though? Like describe that situation.
Well, one, the difference is you think somebody's operating devious, the way they present themselves, they acting real aggressive, lying, cussing, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna eat you, and so I've seen people that I think is possessed by a demon. Now, the one or two times that I think I've seen a person that could have been an actual demon embodied as a human, it's almost unexplainable. If I was a cat, all the hair would be standing up on my body. So there was was electricity, and it was kind of funny, right? you know how I've never said that before, right? I've never made that analogy. But when you've been around thousands of people like me that's going through crisis and possessed and having issues in their life, they are still human people. But I've just seen people in so many different scenarios, in drugs and people that want to eat people and just finish eating blood and stuff, just doing stuff. But this particular person made every piece of hair on my body stand up. I felt some really serious energy, unlike you feel when somebody like really mad at you, or you're on the football field and somebody hits you real hard. That's a transfer. That's that spirit of athleticism and competition coming out, that they just shook your whole body. Well, I felt like that in front of a person, and you can look behind. If you have some discernment, you can look behind and through the windows of the soul into somebody's eyes, and you can see them. I looked into this person and I couldn't see nothing.
Empty.
So like when you first met him,
I'm sorry?
I was saying like, so when off the first like confrontation when you met him, did you get that same energy, or was it like after talking to him for a certain while?
Oh, when I first met him. Yeah, right off point.
The darkness in their eyes. I feel like I've met some people like that too, where you can just see before them that darkness. Have y'all ever met someone like that? Someone super negative. You look into their eyes, and they could have blue eyes, but it's just dilated, like where it's like dark, and you see that darkness in their eyes. Or like whenever they're taking a picture, you can see the darkness in their eyes. But sorry to interrupt you, but he was. So I agree.
So I've seen people like that, and so getting to my point where I'm going at is, we can sit back and take inventory of all of these things that we see that are phenomenal, praise the things that look great, like a human being running less than a 5-minute mile, or all the attributes that we like about ourselves, but then the negative things of how a person can go in and shoot up a school. Both of those things are phenomenal and breaking world records, but we can be subjective to those things, or we can command those things. Because I just acknowledge that we have an authority, and every group of people, now I don't want to play the race card here, but I think every group of people have a different relationship to this planet. Yo, God, I don't think everybody from here at the same time.
I feel the same way.
Everybody ain't from this planet, and I don't think, and I'm not trying to get all woozy, but I just don't see it. But we, people of color, have a different relationship with Earth. So we are forerunners here. But psychologically, we get scared every time we see something, and we just want to acknowledge it. Oh, yeah, that just happened. That just happened. That just happened. Of course it just happened. And some things we allow it to happen because we haven't proclaimed this to be our house. Right. You don't take over your house. I come over to your house. I'm going to your refrigerator.
Check see what snacks you got. What snacks you got in it, bitch?
You don't watch out. I'm not like this. I'm just playing the card. Some people sleep with your wife. Some people gonna drive your car. So we can't lay down to this spiritual warfare. We got an armor. We're not built. If we worship God, if you worship God in that way, or if you don't spiritually, if you connected with God, then He ain't giving you no spirit of fear, a spirit of reverence, that is, and a spirit of discernment to know when danger is around and how to manage danger as best you can as a human. But I don't look at things as we should be so subjective and be scared of everything. Now, I don't watch The Exorcist. I don't do Jason. I don't do horror movies because I'm such a in-tune spiritual person. I don't play with that evil like that. But
I don't watch TikTok.
Dreams and shit.
You know what I'm saying? But some things we do in our life are toxic, and toxicity or toxicity comes in certain forms. So I might be doing something else stupid, even though I don't watch horror movies. Okay. Like, dude, but you watch Fred Stanford reruns all day long. That's just crazy. Well, I will, but I won't watch these horror movies because I can sense the beings, the spiritual beings in people's lives and bodies. And I think playing with them and acknowledging them gives them sort of an authority. To me, that's not entertaining. But I understand how people like being scared and like to see gory stuff. I've seen enough blood and I've seen enough death. Not that I've seen a lot, but I've seen enough that I don't want to play in Hollywood somebody killing somebody or somebody dying.
That's crazy. It's like you know, it's like you know how you get like nightmares and stuff from like watching scary movies and stuff like that. But when you watch a comedy, you're not getting no type of dream or nightmare about that comedy. So it's like it's kind of like the devil creeping in your mind when you sleep. When you watch that scary movie and stuff. It's crazy.
Cause I don't even be having movies. I don't have dreams for real. But like, say if I watch a scary movie or something, and I really won't fucking with it. It's like I have a dream that night. I'm like, bro, I don't never had no dream or nothing for real.
Yeah, that's because I believe. I don't know about you two guys, but I think Young Thug said it in his interview. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2016, he was saying that when those people around you aren't aligned with your spirit's going to be irritated. And there's some demons and they got to go. Yeah. And you can, and I can, and you guys, I bet you guys can all understand that whenever you're around a negative person, they got to go. They got to go. They got to go, especially if you're in a good position in life, because you can sense that negative energy. Right. And that's kind of like God telling you, hey, you know, what you got going is good, but you're playing with fire.
Yeah, you gotta let him go.
I owe you an interruption.
No, go ahead.
The last witch that I met, proclaimed witch, was right down the street here. And she came into my office, and I already sensed she was kind of, you know, awkward, but she came to see some intern that was working for me. And so I'm watching this, and I'd already seen these little tarot cards or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I'm about to ask you about that too. I'm about to ask you about
it. Right, okay, yeah, so she came to pick up some. So the conversation was in context. I wasn't just looking at nobody, judging them. And I'm not one of those spiritual people that be like, yeah, I know one when I see one. She made it her best to let me know she was a witch, because I wasn't afraid. I wasn't not going to sit there and acknowledge. I wasn't going to ask no questions. I wasn't going to give her no glory. Like, oh, you're a witch, and we can go down and buy some more stuff to join you. And she was telling us where stuff. Man, I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, okay. And my spirit was, you can leave when you get ready. I was subjected to her spirit, and it agitated her. So she, I didn't give her no reverence when she said, I'm a witch and the sword and soul. And she said, what degree or something? I'm like, okay.
She said she was a witch.
That irritated.
Oh, yeah. She left.
Yeah.
She just cooked, you know. So when you're protected, you know, and I'm so grateful that I met Ron, because he can pick up. He is so spiritual, man. He picks up on a lot of this. And I've listened to him, and I know he think I may not be listening to him, but I listened to him about a lot of things he shared with me about this. I just don't go so deep into it. I gotta have God, man. I gotta have God protect me, man. At the time I go get my little wands and get my little prayer cloths and my little holy water, my little protection kit will be outdated, and I probably won't even know how to use it. So I gotta be able to walk freely. But when I'm around them witches, when I'm around them witches, they don't stay around me long. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Well, all right, I'll talk to you later.
Do you feel like you feel like the people like that, like witches or whatever, is it like from like getting too deep into like the spirituality and like tarot readings and all that?
Well, or this is like something we talked about before the podcast. You can worship anything. You can worship an emotion. You can worship. You can endorse anything. You can. And I'm like, he still got his Christmas tree up. You can. What are you doing with a Christmas tree up? That's an idol, a thing that we idolize only for a certain season. But 3 months after Christmas, you know, at night is he praying to the tree? But no, you can idolize and worship and energize and maybe Ron can tell you about it, but you can idolize that ceiling fan that he got in there. And you can worship it, and it can become an alternative reality. So any inanimate object, I think we can make a small God, and it will be changing our behavior, a pyramid. But there are some things that you can idolize that messes with the electricity and the current in the air. And a lot of people together believing in one thing, I think you can change the climate in a room by everybody worshiping God and catching the spirit, as well as everybody worshiping a demon or a tarot card or a system.
Right.
That's facts.
I think that was well said. And I also want to introduce this topic, guys. So, and this really does define. I'm big on losses that define you. They really do define you. Losses do. I ultimately think that. But I'd like to get your guys' aspect and Vernon's number one. Do you think that your losses have taught you more than your wins?
Okay, all the way from being sexually abused to by a man and a woman, or bullied in school, and I got this is the first time in my life I've ever given an answer like this. Looking at my path and my journey to where I am right now, drum roll please, I don't think I've ever lost.
Okay.
Because the things that I thought were negative, I've been able to share with guys like yourself. And in this short amount of time that me and you have known each other, I've been able to give you warnings I plant seeds in you that won't pop up until 10 years from now. You'll be like, that's what Coach was talking about.
Facts.
It'll apply then. But I don't think I've ever lost. And I don't want to say that out loud because, the spiritual consequences when you proclaim something and you stand on it, and that certain things hear you that think you standing in pride. And my own strength, I couldn't have made it through 90% of those things. Now I have ran from some situations. I got away from some dogs, but I've also been mauled by a pit bull, not a pit bull, a boxer that I couldn't get away from. And now I'm getting older and wiser. Boy, I got to run quick. Right. But now back to what Ron was saying earlier, spiritual warfare. I heard him say that. That's where the battle is, spiritual wickedness in high places. I don't think I've ever lost. I've been severely hurt, but I've been severely hurt so bad that I've been able to share, and it has literally saved some lives. We're cutting people down, is hanging up. I'm like, that's worth my whole career in the judicial system. Just cutting one person down and saving this one guy's life. He was about 300 pounds. He was hanging up in the holding cell. Boy, I said, man, we got one. Somebody bring the key. We got to get him down. And boy, I grabbed his legs and tried to pick him up so it can release the stress on his neck. Just because I was there and I wasn't killed in the situations that I've been through, I was able to save one person. When he hit the floor and fell on all of us, he's like, man, I can't believe that woman got me up here hanging myself. I'm done with that chick. And he changed his whole life. I seen him in Walmart. So just by saving one person's life, because I'm so affectionate and passionate because of the trauma that I've experienced, I've never lost, man.
So they were great lessons.
Great lessons, bro.
And if anything, they made you who you were.
They made me. And the guy that was working on molesting me, if he walked in the room right now, I can't tell you what I would. You ever seen the apartment tore up again?
I would tell you. I mean, I'd be right there with you.
Maybe I've forgiven him. Maybe I've used the experience.
We're human though.
We're human
though, and we're gonna feel as a human would feel. You can forgive all you want, and forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for the other person. Hey. So
give me that T-shirt.
So
I wear that shirt.
So I would completely understand how you feel.
Yeah.
I 100% resonate with it. Yeah. And I'd be the first one to help you out too.
And if I tour up your apartment, I come back and fix everything. I'd
help you. The tree. Yeah, you can have the tree. You know what I'm saying? Look,
I take the tree with me.
Yeah, and I like that experience. And what about you, Ron? I think that was to baseline off of that. How do you believe about become a better person and just influence others on how to be better?
Man, you got to be strong first. Basically, kind of similar to what Vernon said, you learn from it. So kind of in the end, you don't really look at it as a loss because it made you better. But at that time, it's like you was temporarily losing at the moment, or it might felt like a loss. But I mean, I got locked up when I was 17, running with the wrong people. And Wednesday, it wasn't nothing major. But I had got drunk for the first time. I was been going to church with my people. And we put these 40 ounces in the deep freezer. Me and my people supposed to be going to sleep. It's probably like 10 at night. So the parents go in the room. It's like my best friend. We supposed to be getting ready to go to church in the morning. It was a Christian family, but her sons always stayed in the pen. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, basically, they went in there, went to sleep. We went in the deep freezer under the meat, got the 40 ounces. This is my first time drinking, man. I done won a basketball game for YMCA, bro.
Just dropped 30 on niggas, so good.
It's a high gravity 40 ounce. If you familiar with drinks, man, it's a high gravity malt liquor. 800. Man, them things will knock you off your socks, man. But this is my first drink at 17. Never drunk before. So we hit the block. We go back outside. Parents when they're asleep. We all Chirac, little dirt. We just go out chilling. So he get a call. He so and so was like, yeah, somebody was dancing with your girlfriend, at the dance and jump. They tell my friend that he was in a relationship. He's like, oh no, man, I'm finna walk up town, go find this dude, man. So I'm staying with him. So I go walking with him. So anyway, we get up there. First, not to mention I had a little handgun, BB gun that looked real. So I got it with me on the moment. So I just take it with me because I got it, but I put it in my pants. But anyway, we go up there. I'm drunk off the alcohol and I down my junk in less than an hour, whole 40 ounce. I downed it. So my world kind of swirling. So we walking uptown through Windsor. I'm just walking past car doors, man. I just start tugging on them, just touching them. And one actually come open. So to make a long story short, it was like bingo bags, man. I started dumping over the ground. It was stupid, man. But anyway, the cops ended up getting up to us. And I ended up going to the county jail. First, I'm in the precinct. His parents think we sleep. We called him yeah, we about to go to jail. I'm 17 years old. So next thing you know, the cops tried to get me with breaking in a vehicle for one charge, which was a felony that they say, attempt to break in one, the other door handle that I touched that didn't come open, then the BB gun that I had concealed weapon. My bond was 10,000 cash. I ain't get out to 21 days later. I went straight on the C block. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, at that moment of my life, because my homie, the one I'm talking about, we kind of friends from a distance. I just see them when I see them, man. I be as burn. I do my own thing, but they all gang bang and crip and, big homie. And he done been to prison like 4 or 5 times since then. You see what I'm saying? And he just kept going. Me, basically, I was on probation for a year after I got out in 21 days. So I stayed in the house because I didn't want to get in trouble. So I kind of borrowed one of the headsets from computer class that got the jump to come right here to your mouth. And I plugged it up to the little Windows computer at the house. And that's when I downloaded a program from school. And that's how I got into recording my first song, what I'm saying. So I stand in the house. That's when I started touching on the gadgets. But like you were saying about the loss, that was like a loss then. It took that right there to make me hungry and want to stay out of trouble. My dad tell people all the time, he talked to him, yeah, my son only got locked up one time. He learned his lesson, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, so how did it feel when you walked in the cell when you 17 years old, going out to Seagull? How did it feel?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If y'all familiar with Vernon probably know about the Burt T. County jail system, man. Williamston, Martin County ain't got no jail, so Robinsonville already don't like Williamston. All of them, they come to Burt T. County jail in Williamston. So when I walked in, it was like in the middle of the night by the time we got there. You see what I'm saying? I was in there with a murderer. His name was Damu. They had just murdered somebody. That means blood, gang language.
I would have been, like, nah. Post that bail right now.
like word up, his brother was locked up, you know what I'm saying, for murder. So we in C block, we got 5 or 6 cells. So when the cell locked, everybody got our own personal cell. Like nobody can harm us or nothing. The gate closed, you know what I'm saying, at a certain time. Daytime, you can all walk around, but the dorm is where go down, dudes fighting and that, like, people. So anyway, how it is all the towns in Burke T County, 8 towns go against each other. Coleraine, Blam, I'm from Windsor. Our rival used to be Coleraine, Lewis, and everybody that beef and all that over time. It was just a territory this crazy in the country, I'm telling you. But anyway, I got a first cousin in there locked up for attempted murder. The same one that I told Vernon did 5 or 6 years, just got out of prison like that. I tell him about all the time. They got into the accident and died and came back to life. They threw the sheet over him because they thought he was dead. But you know what I'm saying? He started kicking up. So he was in there for attempted murder like that because he supposedly went to in a robbery and jump. It's a rapper from ATL named Killer Mike. Like that real famous rapper, y'all probably heard of Killer Mike. These guys from Windsor supposedly went to Killer Mike mansion and took like 12 to 14 ounces of cocaine. They ran up in the mansion. So my cousin was like deep in the gang life. You see what I'm saying? It still is, but he just on parole, so he ain't moving on that type of time like that. But anyway, I mean, how I felt when I went in there, you can't be scared, man. Like, I got in the fight in there, bro, and I won. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was always a little tall, you know what I'm saying? So, and my cousin was in the cell in the dorm, so like I won't smoking, so they used to have smoke breaks in Burke T County jail. You go out like that, it's like when you smoking in the line, you behind you, the people in the cell can see all outside. So my cousin was like talking to me through the cell, like what up, cuz? What's good with you guys? You know what I'm saying? So I had people that was in the jail that nobody they ain't gonna really mess with like that. So that kind of that's how that kind of is who you know, man, and like that. But basically, Williamson and Martin County go against Burke T. It's like Burke T. Y'all beefing on the outside all take 8 towns, but when you in jail, it's Burke T versus Martin County and Robinsonville. Now I fought a little short crip dude because I'm standing out there, you know what I'm saying, talking and junk. It's canteen day, right? So I get my little cookies and little chips and junk like that, you feel me? I get my little cookies and chips. So we just standing out there talking. Next thing you know, one dude gonna come and try to like grab me, like grab my arm. Yo, go get a snack. Go get a snack. You know what I'm saying? So one dude proceeded to go get my snacks. They ain't eat them or nothing. He put it back on the table. And that's when I just like flipped out, man. Like the attitude of my family, like we cool people. But I just like flipped out, man. And he was like, dang, cuz, I was just playing with you. Come behind the camera. So I'm like, all right, because in jail, you know, Vernon probably familiar. Them certain views of the prison, you can't see certain things, you know what I'm saying? So he like, go walk under the camera. I go behind the camera and swear up, you know what I'm saying? He like probably like 5'2", and I was probably like 6'2", and I was 6'2" since 10th grade, you feel me? So we in that square up, bro, and like ever since then, I got my respect. They saw I wasn't scared. It went up like 6 or 7 of us in there, so nobody like really disrespected me in C Block or nothing. Once do you go in there scared, they gonna feed off of that, man. Like I seen people coming there, bro, you gang bang, bro, what you gang bang, asking people that. And then they'll lie and say they don't gang bang. So
would you say jail didn't change you? It was more the fact that your friends, like when they got out of jail, they were still doing the same thing. You want to do something different.
Right. Yeah, that moment. Yeah, jail was like, man, it felt like I was in the neighborhood, man. To be honest, like just seeing the stuff, you know what I'm saying. But it kind of sitting down in that cell now, 21 days. I was ready to go home and get out, because not to mention. We was 2-0, you know what I'm saying, for YMCA. We took that serious. It's 8 times, man. We really used to ball.
Try to get that record right.
I'm the main player, bro. I'm the center, bro. I swear to I'm the center, bro. I'm the center of the team,
triple-double,
bro.
15 boys.
So they lose while I'm in there, bro. They 2-2 while I'm in there.
Hey, Ron, let's go to the part where you won that fight. Do you think, you won that fight because you about 6'6" and your hands as big as Michael Jordan's hands?
No,
you beat the top of that joker.
It's the neighborhood I'm from. It's the neighborhood. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's the neighborhood I'm from, because
gotta be.
And Windsor, man, like some of the people, most of my people, man. Be honest, man. Most of everybody grew up on the block with only got one best friend that don't gang bang. Like, you see what I'm saying? Everybody else is either gangster disciple, blood, or crip. And I ain't like. And they asked me various times. That's why I see got us have a strong mind, because they tried to get me down various times. Come on, bro. I can put you down. Like, they rank so high. You can have this line of people under you. And I'm like, bro, I don't need none of that, bro. If you see me doing good, why you gonna try to put me down in the game for? You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that fight, man, like Garrison said, like the fight, it was the heart, bro. You can't be scared, man. Like they find out you scared, they're gonna feed off us. So my neighborhood, when I used to go out on 5, 6 years old, that's the country. I used to climb trees. You know, people used to pick fights all the time with you, man. They were gonna check the temperature. That's like a lot of hoods, you know. So I was fighting since I was 6 or 7, and like that, bro. I was just fighting people. Some I won, some I lost, but I never got beat silly. I never had a black eye in my life. I never got jumped.
So you felt so like what you said. I think that's an interesting point that you made. That you said it felt just like the neighborhood, and
yeah, like
and just like the hood in general. Like it wasn't really anything different. So,
no.
and I like how you said right there, like whenever it was things were going good in your life, they want to bring you back into that.
I'm looking at the way they living. Like, for instance, on Facebook, people message me for money. Ron, can I borrow like $10, $15? And they whole gang bangers, bro. I'm like, ain't nobody in your gang that can lend you $10 or $15.
Facts.
And all y'all is a posse.
Motherfuckers game banging, but they ain't got no
saying?
bread. Like, come on, you game banging backwards. Come on.
Big homies is broke as hell.
No lie, I swear, like ain't nobody in your game that can loan you $10 or $15 and all y'all running around. So how you gonna get me to draw? You can't even persuade me. You can't even show me nothing. Like the mafia, El Chapo might come to you with a Lambo or something. You might persuade me. You might think like, hey, I could. Who knows? For maybe a year or two. You know what I'm saying? But you can't even persuade me.
Ron, you are not a gangbanger, dude. You are not for that life.
That's what I mean.
I love you, bro. You are not for that life.
Like the mental skills, like I can handle the mental skills, but it's only a destination, the graveyard or the prison. And it's like I ain't trying to go to neither one. Like you don't hear no. You feel me? That's all, bro. Like that's all.
I think they saw that too, man. I think they left you alone for a little
man. But for them, they know me. Say like I come around or something. They be like, oh yeah, Ron can fight. Or one night I was boxing. It's like it was on all love though. We just throwing the gloves in the country and spar a little bit. So I was boxing. It's like well-known game bang. It wasn't no animosity or nothing. But we was boxing and I closed his eye. Like his girlfriend saw me the next day. Ron, you black my baby eye, but it won't know nothing. He's like we dapped up when we finished. You see, that's how it is in the country though. Like you feel me? Like everybody ain't no sore loser, so it's like it's love, man.
It's the hood or the country?
The hood country, man. Burnt T is like we ain't got no shoe store over there. We don't got one shoe store, no Walmart. It's like the 4th biggest county. I don't know. It could be. Who knows? It could be one of the biggest counties, man. It might be. Man, it's just a lot of land over there. That's where the maximum security prison that you probably hear about all the time on the guards be getting killed. That man, like for real. So it's like. It's the hood country, man. Like for real, no lie. Like you go through there in the daytime, you might see empty or you just see a few cars. But nighttime, people like to pop outside, man. Like my town kind of remind me of the look, kind of like Kinston. You know, like in the town, you got the country looking old buildings and stuff like that. Old as hell,
bro. I just went.
But yeah, man.
That's my first time being in Kinston the other day, like the city part, and I'm like, bro. The buildings down here and like the way it looks, it's just like old and like ghetto hoodish type shit, like for real.
That's why, for real, bro. So that gang thing is where it says like you better find you a trade or something like we doing now. You know what I'm saying? Do something positive, man. Cause looking at them, they don't got nothing going on. They're gonna be standing on that same corner. If they blessed to still be alive, they're gonna be standing on that same corner going to clubs. Like my best friend that I got in trouble and went to jail with, I said, we supposed to be going to church. He got shot like 2 months ago hanging around from a dude from Plymouth. You see what I'm saying? And took that bullet. He had to come over here to Greenville, and it's almost near his chest. So he better be lucky, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like he got a whole daughter out here.
Yes.
So, how many wake-up calls you need? Right. You know what I'm saying? And he got grazed before. 10 years ago, he got grazed in the arm in the shootout. Was screwing somebody's girl. Dude saw him at the store.
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
No, matter of fact, no, really? It's wrong. The dude was screwing his girl. The dude was messing with his girl. So as soon as he saw this dude at the duck dude, he just swung on this dude immediately. You see what I'm saying? Like it was like, but yeah, man. Like I stay away from that. They ain't getting nothing from it. Nobody that gang bang like really got nothing to their name or business, nothing. And you know, a lot of them still staying with their parents, which I don't know. A lot of people still stay with their parents, but if you gang banging, like that doing all this, you should at least have a crib. You don't want your mama house getting shot up.
I had a little type of emotion or something. Damn,
And I want to ask you guys, Vernon, I want to ask you, and Ron, you can baseline off of him. What does love mean to you guys as men who, you went through your life and you've had different experiences with different women and, different familiar relationships? Would you rather have love or loyalty?
Well, I think love is the most powerful emotion. In other words, affection that you can coin and put in a box or a ball and express it to someone. That's probably the most authorized emotion that we are allowed to use and can use towards each other. That we say we love each other.
Right.
I don't think you can be no closer to each other spiritually than saying you love somebody. And, so. And what was the second part?
I was saying, would you rather have love or loyalty? Because, sometimes someone can love you, but absolutely hurt you.
Right.
Just because they love you so much. You see what I'm saying?
Now, here's the answer that question quickly is love. Because the time you experience blissful love, the time, it could be one day and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. Right. It could be one moment and it will affect your lasting life. Just like a trauma can affect your life for the rest of your life, a love experience, a love encounter can really change you for life. And it can really cause you to make great decisions. Like I remember what love is and that expression. And if you can practice it daily, you can benefit daily from love. It's awesome. It's a risk.
It's definitely a risk.
But it makes you vulnerable.
It does.
But it's worth it. And I think love over loyalty, because loyalty is subjective, to where you get caught. If you're dealing with the feds or you're dealing with the local police. So is love, but still, like snitches get stitches. I'm going to be loyal. Now, snitches go home for Christmas.
right.
I don't live by it. I think you would get caught in something. As far as loyalty, if you get caught in something, you need to ride home with the person that you rode with. So you got to be down.
That's what I agree with.
We robbing banks, then
you go down with me. You know what I'm saying? You go down with me.
We know it ain't always like that because you're dealing with another gang, which could be law enforcement. I think they're the gang.
Judicial system.
That's the gang.
Yeah.
The gang. So loyalty is subjective to your history.
That's a great insight right there.
How you view loyalty. But love, it's more of a spiritual thing and it's more of a human thing. If you can express it.
So you're saying that one moment sometimes, whenever you feel that love, say around your mom, something that you could just feel, or someone that you truly love, you can just feel like, damn, I remember that moment. And it just kind of hits you in your heart, where it's just like, you kind of sit there and you feel kind of lost for a second. So you're saying, it is a huge risk. I think that's why we view marriage as it's so scary for us guys, right? And it definitely is. Marriage is a huge responsibility. And I think that's what we're scared about from both ends. Like, how are both people just going to do what they need to do, right? Especially in this generation, as we know as guys and black men. And, Ron, how do you feel about that too, man? Love and loyalty. And
let me
would you rather have one or both?
Yeah,
man.
Hey, Ron.
I tried various times, man. So the loyal, I had shorties that were loyal.
Yo,
I ain't gonna say loyal to me. They love me, they like me, but they weren't ready to be loyal because they liked the dollar bill. So they love the trick. They love the trick to get their money. So they love me while they was doing that. Like they won't loving the dude they was messing with. They was just finessing them for their money. So it's like, but at the same time, they bringing spirits in to you when they doing that. So I mean. Love, I don't even know, man. Sometimes in this generation, man, love is very thin, bro. Like, for real. Like, it's very...
It really is.
But the relationship pool, like I told my people, back in the days, Miss Sarah had to leave the house to go cheat on John. But now, to see a man that ain't got, like, you know what I'm saying? To see a man that got what he ain't got, you know what I'm saying? A woman eyes wonder, man. So now she can just log on social media and look down the timeline and see a dude that's doing better in life than you, than the dude she with.
Yeah.
So she ain't got to leave the house no more to explore her options. Like, that's why I think social media kind of lets the loyalty You see what I'm saying?
But this is just some great content, and Ron, like what you were saying, I think you were saying about how we all can relate, and at some point in our life, whether it be relationships or even friendships, sometimes you wonder, especially with these women, like do they actually love us for us, or is it just for what they bring? For what we bring.
What we bring. Most times, a lot of times with me anyway. Because I mean, a lot of shorties will give me play. Like real talk, a lot of shorties like when like I went at the top of the, like in high school or whatever, they went for the high top sports players and jump like that. So they won't even give me no play. But nowadays, my inbox be, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying shorties. I'm the same Ron.
Flooded.
Really, it gotta be something that I'm doing because I ain't no different person. Like So yeah, man, that's how I shut that down. So I know when a woman kind of got the gold digging spirit or want something for her benefit, man, I can read through that the first day of the first week. They come with a spirit.
How do you know? What's a good, and Vern, what do you think too? What's a good insight when someone really wants you for who you are, like a genuine woman? Because I believe there are great women out there, and even though unfortunately there's a lot of some that make them look bad and that are loud, and just tend to use men, and what do you think the qualities and traits of a good woman is that you can spot, especially in our generation, because sometimes it's really hard, like you said, because the influence of social media and seeing so many Instagram vixens every time you refresh your feed, or it kind of desensitizes us.
Well, first of all, you got to look at society in this time. Like 100 years from now, it won't be like this. Right? You got to say that time has evolved or changed. This is the age of technology. This is the age of provision. This is the age of advancement. So it's no surprise that women are looking at men like, are you Santa Claus or are you Satan? And I want to provide her. So in a society like the way that society is now, looking at capitalism, meaning your financial standards, who's got the bag, those things, women are looking for providers.
Facts.
Social construct. You got a wealth gap with different races and the way society is set up.
Right.
And it matters. It's manifesting now. So women are skeptical if you can bring in the goods. But that's not really what they want. They want love. A woman wants to be loved, and for the most part, if you get married or you get locked in a relationship, the number one thing you're going to discover is going to be two things. One, you're going to see she want money, but the other one is she want attention.
Mm-hmm.
And she want attention in a lot of ways.
Right.
Which is more important, money or attention? Okay, we're not going to get into all this. So I believe what Ron is saying is so true, that women are looking at the logistics of a relationship, but inherently they're built to be loved, and they want to share love.
Right.
And they want to, there's no substitute for it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to substitute something inordinate. It's an inordinate effect that women are looking at the bag and how you can provide. I think all men are capable of taking care of at least one child.
Right.
You can get a job making minimum wage. Everybody, it's how you spend your money. Everybody is capable of taking care of at least one child.
Hey, not to cut you off. So do y'all believe that 50-50 relationship is realistic?
Yes.
I feel like if a girl really like you, she not gonna let you goddamn go out and buy everything. Correct. She gonna wanna give you that energy back type shit.
Bro, I feel like
so every day is 50-50.
Not every day. Like I'm gonna look out for you, feel me, type shit. But like
actually,
say like. Go ahead. Say, go ahead.
Oh,
talk to me.
You know what? I think the way I view it. It should be 100-100. She gives 100, I give 100.
Right.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? She gives her best, I give my best. Because we're not competing with each other. We're not competing against each other. We're not comparing our relationship. Yeah. We're working with each other. And you know what? What I realized, the relationships that are successful, a lot of the time, you know what they have? It's not the leader who's the man who dictates the power, right? The power dynamic. It's God. Now, the man, obviously, like biologically, we need to provide and we need to do all this, right? Which I agree with, right? So I don't mind, them saying, I need a provider, right? But when you have a spiritual relationship with God, both of you, she won't question what she's doing, right? she'll be like, you know what? And my mom tells me all the time that too. Find a woman who believes in God, because she's gonna believe in you and what you do, and then she'll follow you, right? Because you'll be the leader, right? That she can look up to and she can actually trust and say, hey, you know, he's doing the right thing, he's doing his thing. But all this 50 stuff, I believe in that too. But I think it's not realistic for us to say, and I want to get y'all's opinions on this. From my end, I don't think it's realistic for me to say, okay, I'm gonna provide 100% and you provide nothing.
Yeah, or I ain't even putting myself in that predicament. For one,
No,
because like I feel like at that point, it's not like I'm being loved. It's like I'm being used type shit. Because you just like you looking at you looking at me for benefit wise. You feel me? Like,
well, you gotta say, guys, where are the values that you're getting these numbers? How are you setting your values?
Right.
Where is how should I say this? What are the influences that's telling you what 50% is? Where did you get that from?
Nah,
you understand what I'm saying? Okay, it's almost like you need a ride. I call an Uber to take you home, or I go take you home myself. What is better? How do you adjust your value system to say what a woman is worth and what a man is worth? So I got to listen to what he was saying. Both give 100% of everything that you are. Then, therefore, you're looking at equity.
Both of you.
Yeah. Looking at the equity, the value of our fair exchange.
Right.
You can sacrifice is valuable. You may not see the sacrifice, things that didn't get transferred down from baby boomers to now is having 9 children. And a mother goes in the kitchen and she's only, translated now is you eat what I put in front of you. So I'm going to translate that for you guys right here, y'all Gen Z guys. That meant a mom could go in the kitchen with some flour and some rice and a little bit of beef and make a meal and satisfy a head of 9 children, 12 children. All of them come out bellies full. How did that happen? That was a miracle. Little miracles happened every day that they took care of these 8, 10, 5, 12 head of children. Those things are your value system that you're judging and you're living in your head. The only person that's been married in this room is me. So how do you know right now? You're asking yourself, and you don't know. Yeah. So it's your value system that's being influenced right now by him, them, of what you think it can be. And you sit here talking about some 50-50. Some years, let me talk real. Some years, I started out in my marriage at 21. I let my wife stay home and take care of the baby for 5 years. I paid all the bills. When my career changed, some years I got doggone near broke. Some years you're gonna feel great. Some years you're gonna make financial goals. Some years you're gonna have a great job. You might change a career. You might be down, she up. Well, when my marriage ended, she was on top, starting to make 100+ a year with her career, real estate, this, that, and the other. So I was under her. It will change. You will not, the person you marry will not be that same person 10 years from now.
Definitely true.
Hey, that's a young boy lyric. He said, started off, she wanted me bad. She got her bag. She ain't want me now. That's facts. That's facts.
And if you both have the bag, you probably won't see each other. As you get older, we start out with one car right here at ECU. Okay? She had one car. She got her car before I did at 16, 17, blah, blah, blah. Then the more money we started to make, the bigger careers we had, the less we saw each other. 40 hours a week, more money, more obligations. Somebody's on salary. I'm working 2 hours. When I'm making $100,000 a year, I'm working 2 hours out of town. I'm running back and forth to Plymouth every day commuting. That's 4 hours, almost 4 hours on the road every day. So the more money you make, the less you're going to see of each other. So you'll be like, oh, you always off at conferences. What are you doing? Are you cheating while you out at conferences? Your chick staying off in motels and hotels. So you gotta watch out for what you're asking for. And then when you get what you asked for, you will see that very thing you were seeking out can actually kill you.
Yeah, facts.
I agree with that. Like, I think that me personally, and what I'm looking for in a woman is for her to be number one committed to God. So the spiritual relationship is very important for God, right? Because it sets the values precedent for me too. She's got to have similar values for me, so I know what I'm going to be working with in the future, right? Possibly, it's like it's something that you can go off of, right? It's like a predicament, and what she can predict from me too, right? And but I think what's important is this: is that I think a lot of men are having a hard time, including all of ourselves. You can't really sometimes tell because we live in different times, like he said.
Generation nowadays, boy, you can't. You don't know.
You can't really. It's very hard. It's very hard to show them that. And I know not all women are like this, but it's very hard to show them that what you can bring them, because sometimes they will take that and run with it and want more and more and more. As you guys know, we've all had that.
And low key, you can sometimes you can meet a person and they be genuine, and just based off your past females, just because the generation we are in, it's bro, I don't even know if you really like that, because I met the same person just like you that gave me the same energy, but it's
right.
How I know this? How I know it's real? You feel
That's a good point. That's a good point. So you don't even know. Sometimes it can really distort your reality, like what you're saying, like. It's like, is that your facade, or is that just because you're showing me because you're trying to impress me? But I believe that's why I believe in taking things slow, because those first 3 months, those are like honeymoon phases. They're just telling you the goody.
You gotta get to the first little real altercation, little disagreement. Yeah. It's all right, now I'm seeing how you really move.
Exactly. I'm seeing how you really feel. You know what I'm saying? And once you get past those, I think that's what's important for a lot of our generation, and for everyone listening too. Guys, don't feel pressured to just jump into a relationship if you don't really feel that you know them. Just because you hit it off really well doesn't mean that she's going to be the one you're going to be married to. Right. But it doesn't also mean that you won't get married to her either. So have an open mind, have an abundance mindset, right? That regardless of the fact you're going to keep it rolling, and you're just going to keep building yourself to be a good father and a good family man.
Facts.
Definitely.
Whoop, whoop.
Seriously, man. So basically we picture our partner perfect when we first meet them too. That's another thing I can even myself. We want them to be perfect when we meet them, but you know what I'm saying, maybe we can help build them up, and then nothing gonna start off perfect in the beginning anyway. So that's how I'm met with it, man. So I gotta stop give females more time, you know what I'm saying? Can't expect everything to be perfect. So there's that, I don't know, man. It's risky, man. It's all on how you view it, man, at the same time, man. That's one thing I like about Islamic women. I praise them all the time. I can say, if you want a loyal woman, bro, most of the Islamic women do not do that cheating with the hijabs. I promise.
Facts, though. Bro, it gets the religion right there. Hey,
seriously, though, I be telling people that. I be like, that's one thing I respect about their culture, bro. The Islamic culture is they woman, man. They be scared. You go to Pakistan and Iraq right now, they gonna be scared to look at you. They see their husband. They ain't gonna cut no eye at you. You feel me? No lie, yo. So, he said, you got to get a woman that got morals, some kind of believe in some kind of God, man. You feel what I'm saying? In order for them to.
And that's it though. Y'all gotta talk about values and what y'all value in life and stuff like that. Be on that type of connection or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Check this out. Here's this this is non-refundable. This price is what I'm about to give you right now. It's original. Marry a person or partner with a person that you will know that you're going to be able to go through anything with.
Say that again.
Marry a person that you're willing to go through anything with, that you're not even sure about. You could be a paraplegic in 15 years.
Or broke. Down on your arms and knees.
Or win the lottery. Or have a stroke. Or be 70 years old and can't feed yourself.
Right.
You come into this world in diapers, spitting up, pooping, and crapping everywhere and stinking.
Don't go out.
In fact, you're going out that way. Even if you get shot, that's the last thing you're going to do, likely crap on yourself. Okay, your your organs are gonna shut down and sync whatever in a chronological order to try to save itself, and you're gonna die slowly. So that person that you're with will never be the same person that you are in the beginning. Let me bring it to reality. When I got married, I said, all right, we ain't gonna leave no dishes in the sink after midnight. Then she came back. We ain't gonna wear our shoes in the house. We're gonna save our carpet. We're gonna vacuum twice a week. Then there was something else she said. Then there was something else I said. Look, bro, in 3 years, I was wearing the shoes in the house. She wasn't. I was the one wasn't washing the dishes before midnight. All of that junk changed when you have a child.
Right.
Don't get stuck in this alternative reality. You cannot control your life in that way. Now, you can set principles, but I'd say put contingency plans in place, because somebody might have to be wiping your hind part by the time you're 40. So don't live like you don't need insurance. Don't live like you always gonna be where you are right now.
I like that.
You ain't got to cash at me for that right now.
I like
game
that.
right there.
That's real though. That's real though.
Yeah.
I think my car.
And you know the crazy thing is that I firmly believe that good relationships are built from like tough times, because there's no way you can really judge someone when things are only going good, you know. And that's why I say, you know, guys, when you're making your money, don't act like you're better than anyone else, right? Treat yourself, you know, have a good time, but also realize that money, you know, money can get you a lot of things and get you a lot of places, and is important, right, for you to be financially free. But also, money can also make your problems even worse.
Right. More money you get, more problems. God,
money, like, you know what they say, money makes your problems bigger. No, money just magnifies them. It just shows who you really kind of are, like how you handle money and stuff.
Yeah, facts.
And but I don't know. I mean, this is a great segment, guys. And
yeah, I'm about to say,
hey, you just gotta do a part 2, man.
Yeah.
Part 2.
No,
my damn battery going dead in the car. I'm probably gonna have to get jumped.
I think
hey, I told you everything's spiritual. That battery can shut you down.
Facts.
We're gonna be talking,
shut you down, man.
Hey, say where he finna go? He don't even be going.
Man,
hey, this is I say, guys, you know, we definitely need a part 2 for this. So everyone, like, let's try and get together, you know, here soon. But this is I'm blessed to have you guys on the pod. Vernon,
First episode.
Appreciate you.
Yo,
Ron, appreciate you too.
Appreciate y'all
JJ,
for coming
Shaun.
On here. Yeah. Great.
This is a great pod, man. The energy was great, and there's for sure going to be a part 2, guys.
You know, like, comment, subscribe, do all that.
Yeah. Tap in.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right.
Be safe out here, man.
All right.
Yeah, you too.
So.